Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to A Man's Journey, video number 3. Um, it's been an interesting week, and I kind of want to just talk about how this week's gone. Finally, talk maybe a little bit about mindset. Starting like last Sunday, I was up at my brother's, and whenever I'm not at my house, it's a lot harder to stick to the diet, at least the way that I want to. Because right now I weigh everything. I'm track all my macros, things like that. So Sunday was a little sketch. All of the days I've been pretty good about the number of calories, but not always macro wise. What I want to be at, or in like the keto thing, really having the carbs low. So like we went to Mexican food and I had tortilla shells and some beans with chips, stuff like that. What I noticed about that is when I do consume a lot more in the way of carbs, I instantly want more carbs. Which brings me to part of the mindset stuff. There's a thing called the 80-20 rule. And what that is, normally it's referring to diet where 80% of the time you eat good quality food and 20% of the time you can be more relaxed. But I started trying to apply that to choices because I believe that the thing that got me to the weight that I'm at now was not one single event. It was small choices that I made. And so I look at the 80-20 like this. For the majority of my life, I've made 80% poor choices. And then 20% of choices were decent choices and some good choices. And that's gotten me to where I'm at now. And wanting to change that and better myself and better my health and better my weight and finances and all of that kind of stuff. The idea is to switch that, to flip that on its head and start making choices that are 80% good choices and getting the poor choices to that 20%, so that the majority of the choices that I'm making are good, in my benefit, and if I make some poor choices, it's not the end of the world. And if I can flip that and do that, the outcome, later in life, 10 years from now, is completely different than what doing the opposite of that would look like. So that's one of the mindset things that's different this time for me. I think the biggest one, though, would have to be the idea that there's no end to this thing that I'm doing, especially when it comes to food. A lot of people, when they are doing a weight loss journey, their goal is some number on the scale, and then or a body fat percentage or whatever your goal is. That's your goal, and there's just not, at least for me, generally there was no thought beyond that goal. And I realized that in the diet culture, I believe that the maintenance side of things is really where things are lacking. There's a lot of people who say diets don't work. I don't believe that to be true at all. I believe every diet can work. It doesn't mean that they're healthy or quality, good ways of doing something, but they all work. But they only work as you're doing them. If I'm doing keto or whatever I'm doing, that only works while I'm doing keto. I can't say, oh, I'm doing keto, but then go eat pizza and expect to get the same results. So when you're done with that thing, what do you do? And so it's that maintenance side of, okay, I've gotten to that goal of, say I want to be 180 pounds or whatever it is. I've gotten there, then what's next? And that's where I think the diet industry in general falls apart. Everybody's got what to do to lose weight, but not no one, but the majority don't talk about what's after that. And that's been a big shift in my mind this time, is that there is no end. There is no, I'm not striving for a specific thing and then, oh, once I've gotten there, now I'm in this magic world where I can just go back to doing whatever I want, whenever I want, or not doing however that looks. I can't go, oh, I'm going to do this strict diet thing and then all of a sudden hit this magic number and then go back to doing cheeseburgers every day or Taco Bell every day. It's just, that'll never work. So it's always going to be this thing, not necessarily a struggle, but there's always going to be a time where I need to at least evaluate where I'm at or what I'm doing. I don't have to be a slave to the scale. I don't have to be um, a slave to a diet. However often I feel like it, once a week, once a month, whatever that ends up looking like, I'm going to still have to weigh myself, and I'm going to still have to know, at least cognitively know that the choices that I'm making are good. And that's how in my mind, the two of those as a mindset thing really combine together, that there's no end, and then making 80% choices that are in my best interest. The cool part is that freedom to go, I'm doing keto, so that's my protocol, and I'm making choices. But like this last week, I made some poor ones, and that's okay. And because of that new mindset, I go, yes, I made those decisions. I also made the bad decision, and I'm going to own that bad decision, and then choose to not continue to do that bad decision. And that's how I got here, right? So you don't get to over 400, probably close to 500 pounds by making quality food decisions and quality exercising decisions. It's just not, it doesn't work. And it's not also going, but they weren't all bad decisions. I've had plenty of times where there's been great decisions. I just need to make those more often than not. And then either that day, or even if I wait till tomorrow, or in a small amount of time, I can go, I'm going to change that and get back on the horse. And that is the biggest freedom, because if I mess up, I don't have to beat myself up, and I don't have to go, oh man, I blew it, and listen to that voice that says, oh, you blew it again, and now you might as well just throw caution to the wind and just go hog wild and be a complete and total moron with food, and just stuff your face because it sounds good and emotionally feels good. So that's been the big mindset thing. That's been like the biggest change, because I think literally every time I've ever tried to lose weight, my goal was always a number. I want to hit that 180. I want, or a pant size or something, an airplane seat. This time I really just want to make good, healthy decisions, period. And that's forever. It's a life. It's important to me to just try to live and be an example, of being able to make some positive changes, and that's what these videos are all about. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comments. This is to me, it's really important to have this as a kind of a community thing. And so comment either on Facebook or on the YouTube platform, wherever you can. Comments are awesome. If you've got things going on, I'd love to hear about them. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next time. Bye.